Welcome to the band, Gym everybody. Dave Schmidt's ResistanceBandTraining.com. I want to take you through a training approach today that you may not be attempting and that you may want to try. It's called alternate rep training, and I know it sounds like a simple concept, just alternating your reps, but there's a specific way to set up your bands and perform alternate rep training that I think is being missed. And if you get these right, you're going to really enjoy this training approach. Let me go ahead and let's start with setup. Now, first and foremost, because it's an alternating movement, and specifically for upper body, you're going to need a bilateral setup. So you're going to need to be able to work both sides equally at the same time and not be able to switch sides. So therefore, you're going to need a bilateral setup. In this case, I'm using a single red band looped through a purple band that gives me the bilateral setup. Now, you could also just use a pair of bands hooked up onto a bar or a secure point of attachment so that you can go ahead and do bilateral training. Now, here's some keys to alternate rep training. First of all, how do you go ahead and do the alternating position? Well, I like to go ahead and load the system. So now the system's loaded. So now as I go to alternate, the system is constantly loaded on one side or the other. In this case, my left shoulder's loaded while my right arm pushes, and now it's reversed. The other component to alternate rep training is constant movement. I always want to go ahead and be moving and not going ahead and doing it like a lot of people do, where they lock out, do one side and then the other, or they come back here, they press out, then they come back here, press out. I want to go ahead and be constantly moving. Why? Because that's going to really engage my trunk and really have to challenge my base of support and my stabilization. Second thing you want to make sure is, in regards to your setup, if you're going to do that constant motion, this system always has to be on tension. It can't be loose, especially if you're using a looped over setup, because if this becomes loose, if the red band becomes loose, it's going to move on the purple band and it's going to make your side-to-side resistance different. So always keep tension on the system. One, to keep the band in place, but two, to keep your trunk and your base of support activated at all times. Now, there are a lot of movements you can go ahead and do alternate training for. Essentially, any upper body exercise you want to do, especially attached. So we've done chest press. You could easily go over top, drop down, and do alternating shoulders. That's probably my favorite way to go ahead and train. You can go ahead and do tricep training. You can drop down and do alternate bicep training. And of course, you can also do rowing alternating movements. So alternate rep training, some keys to making sure it's successful for you. Go ahead and implement it, give it a try. And if you're looking for a quick way to go ahead and burn a muscle group out and get a training and get a workout in quick, alternate rep training might be a great way to go.